Up your hearts and hear the Holy Gospel, as it is written in Mark, the 14th chapter.
Glory to you, O Lord.
While Jesus was at Bethany in the house of Simon the leper, as he sat at the table, a woman came with an alabaster jar of very costly ointment of nard, and she broke open the jar and poured the ointment on Jesus' head. But some were there who said to one another in anger, "Why was the ointment wasted in this way? For this ointment could have been sold for more than a year's wages and the money given to the poor." And they scolded her. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. Why do you trouble her? She has performed a good service for me. For you always have the poor with you, and you can show kindness to them whenever you wish. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for its burial. Truly I tell you, wherever the good news is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, O Christ.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Amen. Did you win Friday night?
Yes.
Over $500 million was a lot of money. Now, as a pastor of the church, I'm duty-bound to share with you all that the ELCA social statement on gambling takes the position that lotteries are a form of regressive taxation on American citizens. Yes, the ELCA states there is a need to support the infrastructure of our nation's schools and highways. Yes, there is a need to support and improve senior citizens' quality of life. However, the church says monies to address those issues need to be placed in state and municipalities' budgets. All citizens need to bear the cost of providing quality lives for their youth and for the elderly. Not just those who play the lottery, especially those whose incomes are less than $30,000 per year and use 9% of that income to buy lottery tickets. So I understand the church's justice stance on the issue and support the call for all citizens to bear the financial obligations for the well-being of fellow citizens, of people who are in need. But I live in the tension of understanding the need to speak out against the abuses that lotteries can engender. Buying lottery tickets rather than paying one's rent in the hope of hitting it big, for example. But the other side of that tension that I hope is the need to put that dollar down because you gotta play to win. Did you win Friday night? After investing our dollar, Geneva and I joined the nation in dreaming about how we could be extravagant in our sharing of such newfound wealth. Paying the college education of our grandchildren. You know, we got 16 of them. Providing creature comforts for our children. Ensuring the care and well-being of our family's elders. Contributing to African American institutions of higher learning who are in financial distress. Giving to the ELCA mission projects at home and overseas. And of course, purchasing land and providing a building for Joy of Discovery's missional work and nurtures the people of God. Probably that listing is not in order of preference. Extravagant contributions. Extravagant dreams. An extravagant gift. That's what the unnamed woman in our gospel lesson gave Jesus. The woman is unnamed. Why are we not surprised about that? For very few women are named in the scriptures. And when they are named, we need to pay very close attention to what they say and what they are doing within the life of the faithful church. Well, we know that those at the dinner table, the unnamed woman, but the leper who is host at the dinner, he being unknown to us prior to this lesson. Perhaps he had been healed by Jesus for his severely contagious skin disease. Perhaps he was a follower of Jesus who was giving Jesus and his disciples encouragement as Jesus' disciple Judas is preparing to turn him in, as the religious authorities are preparing to take Jesus' life. There were other folks at the dinner that evening, but who we know is there were Jesus and his ragtag social outcast of tax collectors and fishermen that we call his disciples, including the 5 women who followed Jesus in his earthly ministry, which in Jesus' day was a radical thing to do, for women to be involved in a rabbi's ministry. So here this unnamed woman comes with a jar made of alabaster and containing oil extract from the nard plant that was native, I understand, to India. St. Mark wants the first century church reading his gospel, and the Holy Spirit wants we who are reading and hearing this story today to smell the fragrance as well as to hear the story. Extravagance. The cost of the oil was probably a year's paycheck in the times of Jesus. So why did this woman waste her money in this way? Why not sell the ointment and give the money to the poor? The indignant guests were complaining. And Jesus' answer to the indignant guest? Extravagant love. Extravagant love. You who profess to follow God's command, he says, that you do justice and you show mercy towards the poor, you will always have opportunity to do that. For the poor will be among you always. But this woman, who may or may not have sensed that Jesus was on his way to the executioner's